Whenever we're thinking about growing a business, especially like our barber business, of course, we always need to be focused on growth and things that and activities that will grow the business, bring in more new clients, allow us to scale our income, and also increase our pricing. That should be a huge portion of your focus, right? But I think what I don't tend to talk about a lot is also to the things that you need to be avoiding and the mistakes. A lot of like, let's say, I mean, like, we could take an analogy like football, right? Like, of course, Super Bowl is like coming up. In football or any sport, the best strategy is not to score the most points. Like, in fact, the best strategy is to make the least amount of mistakes possible during the game. Because at that high of a level, everyone can play and everyone knows that they can score. And everyone's there at that professional level for a reason, and they have a good team. The thing that always hurts teams is the amount of mistakes that they make, penalties, turnovers, costly mistakes, let's say, errors when they're running plays overall, and that can really hurt a team no matter how good and talented they are. So no matter how good and talented, I always want to be focused on growing. There also needs to be a good focus on what do we need to avoid doing, right? Charlie Munger has this great quote of like, tell me where I'm gonna die, and I'll make sure I'll never go there. And I'm probably butchering the quote, but it goes something like that. And basically, what it means is like he wants to know where he's gonna end up dying at, or how he's gonna end up and when he's gonna end up dying, so that way he can just avoid that and then never pass away. Unfortunately, of course, Charlie Munger passed away last year. One of the greatest investors with him and Warren Buffett. One of the greatest minds we've ever seen in business. But it's like, him and Charlie Munger are very big on like risk aversion, right? Versus like making like these big giant plays. It's like, how can I be risk averse or avoid making giant risks? And that alone will help me grow the business, right? And so I kind of wanted to tee up the podcast that way, just get you on a good mental path, because the way I came up with this podcast is not like, I'm not the most proudest about this. I'm just gonna be straight up honest with you, right? Of course, like if I'm on Instagram or like making a post or doing some studying or looking through some client profiles overall. Of course, as I'm scrolling through and studying, doing that such, there's going to be other videos that pop up. Well, a video that popped up on my feed, typically I'll scroll past it, is going to be, it was like one of these business gurus guys, right? That was making content talking about a topic, and the topic kind of piqued my interest overall. Just the way he started it, it was like a good hook and stuff. I was like, that's interesting. And the guy's name is Brad Lee or Brad Leah. I've seen him before, like online and stuff, for a while. I'm not like a fan of him, or like I shouldn't say a fan, but I'm not somebody who's like, oh my god, that's my guy. But I know who the guy is overall. I have nothing against him, nothing for him at the end of the day. But I thought that was a pretty interesting piece of content that he put out. And basically what he said in that piece of content was that he asked ChatGPT, right? If you were the devil, how would you stop someone from being successful? Now, that alone right there, I was like, that's interesting. Like, because I use ChatGPT all the time to ask it very interesting stuff like that as well, too. And the list that he gave out was like, damn, that's pretty on fucking par. Like sometimes, like I listen to that, I'm like, that would actually be a really good talking piece to talk around, because everything on that's pretty accurate on what to avoid. Regardless, again, too, I'm personally not like religious in any form. So again, too, I hope to hopefully don't offend anybody by talking about, if you were the devil, how would you stop someone from being successful? But what I am saying in this sense is like, it doesn't have to be the devil. It could be something like, if how would the universe, how would other things, outside forces, stop someone from being successful? Or what could you avoid from stop being successful overall? And so I input the same ChatGPT prompt into my ChatGPT, and it gave me the same exact answers that he gave out. So I'm going to read it off to you overall of a list. And there's a list of 10 things here. Okay. So I'll just read you word for word, and then I'll give you my interpretation of what this means for barbers and what can even mean for your business, because I think every single one of these is applicable. So it says, if I were the devil, stopping someone from being successful wouldn't mean dragging them down forcefully. It means subtly manipulating them to sabotage themselves without even realizing it. Here's how I do it. Number one, feed them comfort. I'd whisper sweet lies about how they're doing enough, quote unquote, convincing them that their current effort is good enough for their big dreams. I'd lull them into comfort, making sure they never feel the hunger or fire needed to push forward. And when I read that, and I think back on, like, again, to like the barber industry, and like, I think it's applicable to a lot of you who are listening to this right now, because a lot of people just like they will feed into that comfort, thinking like, oh, this is the thing, but it's like that's the thing that derails success. And I've talked about this so much. Comfort derails success because it literally sucks all the hunger, that drive, that energy out of you to do more, to be more, that you can do more, right? And I think as barbers, we always have to come back to the fact that you have to avoid this comfortable feeling of like, oh, I've made it. And like as we go on this list, like things are like hopefully like one of these things will like kind of like make you realize, oh fuck, this is like this is maybe I have some of these tendencies. This is not like again to a podcast of, oh, you're fucking up, but this is like, hey, let's get some eyeballs and some awareness on this. It's in my opinion, I rather have a lot of awareness on like who I am and where I'm at right now currently. That way I can fix the thing overall. And a lot of people are just going through life without awareness at the end of the day. So that's number one, feeding them comfort. Number two, sow doubt and fear. So I'd plant seeds of self-doubt, make them question their worth, their abilities, and whether they're even capable of achieving greatness. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, I make these their constant companions. And when I think about the barber industry, a lot of you are fearing, like a lot of you have self-doubt about like you scaling up and raising your prices. A lot of you have self-doubt about like scaling your business up, about, oh, I can't charge that. And it shows up like this. I can't charge that price point here. Why are you doubting yourself, right? Because you fear of like going up because you lose your clientele. There's doubt and fear again, right in your back door. I'd make them question their worth, their abilities, and whether they're even capable of achieving greatness. I've heard so many barbers talk on calls before, and like they'll be like, I don't know if I can do that where I'm located at. There's that doubt and fear again. There is like whatever you want to call it, like stopping you from being successful right there, right? That is that like little mind virus right there, just dragging you down. And honestly, like these things, like again too, like we just need to inverse them. So if you need, like again too, if you want to like not be successful, you should be like feeding on and like obviously like consuming more of your comfortable thoughts overall. If you want to get out of that, you have to avoid anything you feel comfortable in with your business and where you're currently at. You have to like treat it like the plague, get it as far away from you as possible, like get that thing out of your mind, right? For doubt and fear, if you feel like you have some doubt and fear around anything, it's like awareness point. You should be very aware of like if somebody says something, you're like, I don't know, catch yourself. Think in that moment, damn, am I doubting myself? Is this fear? And then just think, why do I fear this? Why do I doubt it? And typically you doubt and fear it because of either a problem or a lack of information. And all you need to do, it's not like it's impossible. It's just in order to overcome that, get some information or, again, to take some action to beat out that fear. Now, number three, very huge as well too, distract them. I throw endless distractions in their way. Social media scrolling, Netflix binges, meaningless drama, anything to keep them from focusing on what truly matters. Their days will be busy, but nothing meaningful will get done. Now, for those of you that I work with, like for the barbers I work with inside the mentor program, and also the barbers I work with one-on-one inside of Apex, everyone knows that I basically run my whole life off of Google Calendar. I have every single hour set up throughout my day. I have all of my work blocks. I specifically like design my day out to get as much productivity out of it. Have my meetings surrounding it. Have my sleep scheduled in there too, which by the way, I'm kind of missing right now because I want to make sure I get this podcast out. But I try to set myself up for the least amount of distractions, you know? And because I've always known like when I get distracted, no progress can be made. I can't grow the business, right? And this is like social media, Netflix, meaningless drama, meaning like, again, to cut out your Netflix bill, meaningless drama, people, think about the people who are like adding drama to your life. That's a distraction to you and your goals, right? Social media scrolling. Yes, social media is a tool, but it should be used as a tool, not a consumption thing for us, okay? This is a tool for us to grow our business, not something to derail us overall. The days will be busy, but nothing meaningful would get done. Man, I know a lot of you hearing that right now probably like are like, that's fucking me. I go do a lot of shit throughout the day, but I don't get any shit done. And I'll tell you this, you have to manage your time. I've been so big on time allocation, like speaking this like out loud. And the reason why I wanted to create this podcast, even though it came from a fucking Instagram video, was because like these are like the practices I've been trying to really for the last 5 to 6 years just like go hard with and like really try to put out there, because it's just stuff that I recognized early on in my barber career. It's how I scaled up. It's how we got our barbers like South Bay Chris, Joel Thompson to scale up to 20K per month overall, Henry Hong scaled up to 20K per month, Ty DeWin scaled up to 30K per month, and all the other barbers that you've seen us work with all scaled up because we fix these things, right? On top of we show them social media content. If I just give somebody social media content, the tracking, how to convert new clients, how to market new eyeballs in their business, sure, they can do good for a couple months. But once they get comfortable, once they have a little bit of doubt and fear, once they get distracted, all that shit goes out the wayside. Now, it's just 3 out of the 10, right? Number 4 is going to be make excuses their language. I'd fill their mind with rationalizations like, quote, you'll start tomorrow, or quote, you don't have the right tools yet, or quote, you're too tired. I kind of felt too tired before making this podcast. I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to make this thing. There's no way I'm not going to make this podcast, legit wise too, right? And these excuses become their daily mantras, keep them stuck in place. And so how many excuses are you making of like, oh, I'll start that tomorrow. I'll look into education tomorrow. I don't have like all the right like video stuff yet. I'll record a video tomorrow. I'm too tired. I can't create content because like I can't post. I can't like do the work of like growing my business. I'm too tired right now. I'm so busy. All these excuses are holding you back. Again, too, keeping you from getting your goal. Oh, they're just adding roadblocks, keeping you, I guess, like in that comfortable space or just relax and not driving and pushing forward. Number 5, keep them chasing perfection. I'd convince them that unless something is perfect, it's not worth doing. They'd spend their life preparing, tweaking, and planning, never taking the leap because they're not ready yet. This for me has been like one of my strengths that I've just doubled down on since I was a barber, and that's speed. Meaning I'm just going to be speed to taking action. I want to close the gap between thought and action. The tighter I can close that gap from instant thought to instant action, the better I will become, because I can learn from that. I will take action. I will get feedback. I can improve on that and then take better action the next time and get more improvement. The people who wait for the perfect time, the perfect thing, the perfect whatever, the perfect situation, the perfect blah, 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 it's never going to be perfect. And guess what? Even if it is perfect, right? Even if all the stars finally do align, the world is not perfect. Those stars are going to come out of alignment in about 5 minutes. And what's going to happen after that? Are you just going to go ahead and give up and be like, oh, well, I got to wait another 20 years until the time that another 5 minutes is perfect, and then I'll try it again? You have to try when things aren't perfect at the end of the day. You got to get it going. Because chasing perfect, like I think you should have an idea of what perfection or quote unquote excellence is and be striving for excellence in the work that you do. But it should never be a deterrent for you taking the effort or taking the action or taking the leap forward to do the things you know you need to be able to do. Number 6, surround them with mediocrity. I'd ensure they're surrounded by people with small minds and even smaller dreams. The kinds who settle for less, talk about others instead of talking about ideas, and drain their energy. Over time, they'd forget they forget they were ever meant for more. When I was a barber, like I had accumulated like a good social circle at the point in time, but I noticed like my social circle wasn't like supporting me at the end of the day. Like I had people around me and people I knew that were putting too many bad ideas in my head. They were putting more fear and doubt in my head. They were, not talking about ideas. They're talking about other people, gossiping, like just talking about nonsense, not talking about how we can grow the business overall. They had small dreams and goals, and that didn't bring me alive because like I want to be around people who are like going after and getting it, inspire me. And so I just had to be able to get out of like those situations and be able to put, like find different people to be able to work with. And like for us, especially the New Era Barbering Company overall with our mentor program, that's like kind of what we've been able to design is like legit a community of barbers all over the world who are in one space, who are looking to grow and develop their business, who think differently, who want more. And that way you can like feel like you're not just doing this business thing where you're on the journey on your own. And you need to be able to find things like this, because if you don't, right, you are like that's that quote, you're going to be you're the sum of the 5 people that you know. And if those 5 people that you're closest with are all mediocre, all have small goals, all have doubts and fears and just gossip, guess what you're going to be doing all the freaking time? The same damn thing. Number 7, play the game of comparison. I constantly remind them of others who are further ahead, more talented, and more successful. Comparison would eat away at their confidence until they're paralyzed by inadequacy. I know some of you listen and hear about some of the barbers we've worked with, like, again, Tyna Wynn, Ivan Salazar, Henry Hong, South Bay Chris, and all these other guys. But you haven't seen the behind the scenes like I have. You didn't see all the work that they put in, so you cannot compare yourself to them. And in fact, I know they did more work than you to get where they're at right now. The only difference between you and them is the work. Because just comparing yourself, whether they're younger than you, whether they're the same age, whatever it may be, they're the same city, it does you no fucking good. That mentality serves you no purpose. And the only thing that I found that serves me in that moment in time is if I see someone ahead of me, whether they're younger, older, same age as me, is I just see they've done more work than me. So then my mind goes to, I need to do more work and need to find what work to do to get the right result. Because that is the only way you can have control on your situation. Otherwise, you're a victim, and I hate victim mentality people. It's like that mediocrity thing. Number 8, make them fear change. I convince them to change that change is dangerous. I'd amplify their fear of stepping outside their comfort zone, making the status quo feel like the safest option, even if it's killing their potential. I see this so much in the barber industry, where the status quo is to cut more heads per day, to keep prices low, and stand on your feet for 12 to 14 hours a day. That's the status quo. Stepping out is learning how to scale your business, is posting on social media and learning how to scale that up as well too. Get more new clients into your business. And so many people fear change. And instead, you need to think of anything that's a different option that you've not done before is something new, and that also brings in new opportunities. Because if you keep on doing more of the same, I can guarantee you will not get any further than where you're at right now. You know what those results will get you. You have to make a different decision in order to get further ahead in life. And if you keep on doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, it's like making the same mistake and like you're just ramming your head against the wall, hoping that the wall finally like turns into a door that opens up for you and you can walk through. But it never will. That door, that wall is standing tall and standing firm. It is you who has to change and just pick your head up, take a step to the side, walk around the wall, and go in a different direction in order to get around and not bang your head on that fucking wall anymore. You cannot fear change. In fact, you should fear the thing you should fear is not changing quick enough, is not adapting, right? Staying the same for too long. That's what you should fear. Now, number 9. Normalize instant gratification. I'd make sure they crave quick wins and give up when results don't come fast enough. Patience and persistence, I'd twist those into foreign concepts, making them lose faith in the process. A lot of you give up way too early, 30 days into trying to grow your business, and you're like, this doesn't work. No. The way you're doing it right now is not working. The way in order for it to work, you need to, again, change what you're doing. And I've always talked about having a long-term mindset. And this is always I hear both sides of the coin right now of you in your heads right now. On one side of the coin, we have those people that are like, but like I need the quick wins and like, I need to go ahead and make the money now. Like I need to do this now. But like, you don't know my situation. Yes, I do. I've been there before. And the only way I've got out of that was to make decisions for the long term. Because if you're staying in a short-term decision mode, if you're making only decisions that will only last you let's say a week, meaning like you're only thinking a week ahead to make the bills for the next week, guess what is going to happen next week? Your mind's going to go right back to, I got to make more bills for the next week as well too, or month to month. Got to make bills for this month. New month happens, I got to make bills for this month. Instead of How can I make more money to where I can have 6 months of my bills already in my savings account every single month? That's long-term thinking. Yes, it's going to be a little bit harder. Yes, you might have to go ahead and push and grow and do things differently. But that's the whole fucking point. You have to. Because taking the quick or short route out is just like it's like if you're trying to do a haircut and you're just trying to fly through it in 5 minutes. The whole haircut. Is the haircut really going to be good? It's going to be shorter. It's probably not going to be the thing that you or your client wants. If you take an hour, long-term thinking, I'm going for the end result, sticking to my process, probably going to be better. Now, the flip side of this as well, too. Some of you might be a little bit too on the other side of patience when you should be looking at change. Meaning, some of you are trusting too much in your process of, hey, I think I just need to go ahead. I just need to keep on doing what I'm doing. But it's like you haven't seen fucking results yet. And you've been doing this for the last 6 months and you have not scaled up to past 10, 15, or even 20K per month inside of your business. It is not working. And the longer that you wait on this thing does not mean that change is going to come. Change is only going to come if you change up your actions to get on long-term exponential growth patterns inside of your business. That is how you're going to beat it out. So if you're always in a frame of like, oh, but I gotta get my money this month, get out of that. Think long term on this thing. How can I make money so I have 6 months of savings in my bank account, of all my finances, all my bills in my bank account each and every single month? And the flip side of that, if like again, you're like, oh, I just gotta keep on doing what you're doing, and you've been in the same place for the last 6 months, around like that, your income's only increased by like 2K in the last 6 months. You gotta fucking change. It ain't working, dude. There are people who are scaling up to 10, 15, 20K a month in 6 months time frame. Joel Thompson, Jay Faded, went from making 6K per month to 28K per month in 8 months. Yvette Rios went from making 10K per month to 34K per month in 4 months. You have to change what you are doing. You have to just stop allowing these mediocre results. Mediocrity will kill you. Again, being around mediocre people, small dreams, small goals, that feeds into what you allow in your life for results-wise. That's why you have to cut those people out. Number 10, drain their energy with regret. I'd make them dwell on past mistakes and missed opportunities, keeping them chained to what they can't change. Instead of focusing on the future, they waste their time replaying their failures. This, for me, overall, is like, I never want to feel regret. I'm always working to ensure that I never feel regret. That is like one of my biggest driving forces. Now, of course, I had some regret in the past, but the only thing I can do from that, and the only thing you can do from that, and that I've learned, is you take it as a data point of like, what do I need to do differently? Because that time period has already gone past. There's nothing I can change about that, right? Everybody knows that. Past, you can't change. But from this moment forward, I'm still going to come across my lifetime from that same situation I went through, maybe another 3, 4, 5, 10 other scenarios are going to be just like that. What do I need to do differently to avoid that same mistake and go back down that same pathway? What do we need to change? That's where I learn, reflect, and change my habits and change my actions to produce different results so I don't live in regret. So every regret or every loss I get, it has actually turned into a win for me. Because I'm not looking at it as like, oh my God, this shit. I'm not being a fucking sore loser. Oh my God, my life sucks. This always happens to me. I'm like, cool, this happened. Why did this happen overall? What do I need to do differently? If I could go back in time, what would I change? And what would that result? Why do I think that result will give me a better change? Do I feel very confident that is going to get me the result that I want to if I do this differently next time? If yes, the next time I see this, I do this, not this. Now I've created a great principle for myself to live. Now these 10 items, again, too, I'll just go back through them. Feed them comfort, sow doubt and fear, distract them, make their excuses their language, keep them chasing perfection, surround them with mediocrity, play the comparison game, make them fear change, normalize instant gratification, drain their energy with regret. All these things is how the universe, the devil, it would stop you from being successful overall. And here's, ChatGPT actually gave me like the last little bit, and I'll read this to you before we end off. And here's the kicker. I wouldn't stop them completely. I'd let them taste a bit of success, just enough to keep them comfortable and complacent. Because the ultimate way to stop someone from being successful isn't making them fail. It's to make them settle for far less than what they're capable of. Many of you have gotten a decent business up to this point so far. But many of you are just now coasting like, this is cool. That is how you fail. That is how you stop yourself from having success. That is the devil, that is the universe working against you, playing its game on you. And you have to beat this out. You have to go ahead and push for more because you can. You are more than possible of doing more. You are not put on this earth just to make a measly whatever income you're making right now. You are destined for more. And you have to believe that. But the only thing that is keeping you from getting to that realization and that reality is yourself and feeding into all of these mind viruses that you allow yourself to play into. So, think about what you need to be able to change up. Avoid those mistakes. Because if you don't, you'll continue staying in the same exact place with no business growth. Comrades, one last thing real quick as well too. I just got this absolutely insane statistic overall. So for those of you who don't know, I run a company called The New Era Barbering where we help barbers scale to 20 and 30K per month. And I recently just ran some numbers, basically going over like what our average student does, which I think you'll be kind of blown away by and like kind of amazed. I saw these numbers like, no fucking way. So our average client adds an additional $12,174.09 to their annual income in the first 30 days. $12,174.09 added to their annual income in the first 30 days of working with our company. And we do this just by implementing our systems for marketing and tracking that have gotten our top clients results like Henry Hong, who went from 6K a month to 24K a month in just 12 months in Australia, or like Patrick Ho, who went from 2K per month to 14K per month in just 11 months, or barbers like Tyna Nguyen, who went from 9K per month to over 30K a month in 12 months, and guys like Ivan Salazar, you might know him as Ivan the Great, who went from 0 to 10K per month in a brand new city and location in just 30 days with 0 walk-ins. Now, if you are a barber who is looking to grow your business and want to get one-on-one help like those barbers did, here's what you should do. So what I'll do is I'll leave a link down below to book a call with my team. So you can click the link down below, book a call so my team can review your business and show if and how we can help you scale your business. And we'll show a ton of social proof during that process to prove to you that our process works. So if you are someone who wants to throw gasoline on the fire and you are somebody who is actually ready to take action and ready to grow, what I want you to do is click the link down below, book a call with my team, make sure you hop on that call, and let's see if and how we can help you.